The curse wasn't just a story, it was real. People in the Spunky Valley had whispered about it for generations, a mysterious darkness said to follow twins born during a crimson moon. Most scoffed, some prayed, a few stayed awake at night listening for the wind that carried old voices, afraid to admit they believed. That moon came the night Semmy and Hemi were born. Identical in face, opposite in soul, they grew up in a small cabin tucked between the woods and the village border. Their father, Bramble, a lumberjack with calloused hands and a kind heart, raised them alone. No one dared ask about their mother. Her name had become a hush, swallowed by the trees. Semmy was the dreamer, a little cautious, fond of books, always sketching strange symbols in the dirt. Hemi was the bold one, mischievous, fearless, with a laugh that could wake squirrels from their nests. They were inseparable, twin heartbeats in perfect sync, but villagers watched from afar, whispering that their bond was the beginning of something dangerous. One rainy morning, an old villager spotted two foxes standing side by side in the road, one red, one black, staring at her without blinking. That same night, the bakery's chimney collapsed, a lightning bolt struck the chapel bell, and the lake began to bubble like it was boiling from beneath. The twins, someone muttered. The curse, another hissed. By morning, Bramble found a note nailed to their door. Take the twins and leave before we do it for you. You're not safe here anymore, said Aunt Marla, the only villager brave enough to visit. She packed a sack with jerky and bread, stuffing, and hand-knit scarves. You have to go tonight. Semmy's fingers trembled around his notebook. What about Dad? He'll catch up. He's out in the woods still, but he said to get you somewhere safe. Hemi scowled. I'm not leaving without him. Aunt Marla knelt, a voice shaking. You have to trust me. He said to run. That was his last word. Run. But I promised him, Hemi whispered. Promise I'd never let Semmy out of my sight. Then stay together, Marla said, but go. The door burst open. Someone was coming. They vanished into the woods before nightfall. Branches snapped behind them. Torches flickered in the distance. Dogs barked, then howled. The chase had begun. Split up, Semmy panted. No way, Hemi grabbed his wrist. We stay together, always. They ducked beneath a fallen log, hearts pounding in unison. Shouts rang out behind them. A voice snarled, Find the twins. Don't let them get away. By dawn, they stumbled upon a rotting sign. Welcome to Spunky Village, Pop 7. 7? The village looked abandoned, crooked houses with sagging roofs, rusted bikes on porches, vines choking the wells. But as they crept through, curtains twitched. Doors clicked shut. Weird, Hemi muttered. It's like they were expecting us. A man with one eye and two canes stood in the middle of the road. You shouldn't have come. Please, sir, Semmy stepped forward. We're looking for our father. Bramble, he might have come through here. The man grunted. I knew a Bramble. Good man, strong arms, bad luck. You saw him? Hemi asked. He passed through, didn't stop. Something was chasing him. What? The man glanced at the sky. Not what? Who? The villagers held a meeting. Some wanted the twins gone. Others, strangely, wanted them to stay. They've come this far, said a woman with tangled braids. They deserve answers. You mean doom? A man snapped. They bring it with them. We're not here to hurt anyone, Semmy said, his voice cracking. We just want to find our dad, Hemi added. We won't stay. Their words shifted something in the crowd, a recognition, not of danger, but of pain. That night, as the twins rested in an old schoolhouse, Semmy had a dream. A forest burning, a silver axe buried in mud. In a voice, faint, distant, his father's, Don't follow the music. He awoke gasping. Hemi was already up, face pale. Outside, she said, I found his axe. They followed the trail down a steep path littered with strange symbols, footprints, scorch marks, and then a wrecked van with their father's coat draped over the wheel. No blood, Semmy whispered. He got out. They followed deeper into the woods and found a tunnel at the entrance, painted in something red. Spread the sound and be undone. They emerged into an underground auditorium filled with broken instruments, shattered speakers, and strange sheet music swirling midair. Dad, Hemi called. No answer, just a low hum, a vibration. Then the shadows moved. A boy their age, green-haired and limping, stepped from the dark. You shouldn't be here. Who are you? Called me Echo. I was like you once. Cursed it. Gifted, Echo said bitterly. But people don't like things they don't understand, so they lock us up. And when we sing, they call it noise. Semi felt a pull in his chest. Music, a melody he didn't know he knew. You hear it too, Echo said, eyes wide. You're connected. Suddenly, metal gates slammed shut behind him. Run, Echo yelled. From above, a figure laughed, half machine, half man, wearing a conductor's hat and a twisted grin. Welcome to rehearsal, he said. To be continued. Right, let's continue with... The conductor snapped his baton and the floor trembled. Sheet music scattered in a swirl of red sparks. Speakers embedded in the walls crackled to life with warped, haunting melodies, as if the instruments were crying. What is this place? Hemi backed up, shielding Semi behind her. Echo clenched his jaw. This is what they built when they were afraid of us. A prison for rhythm, a chamber for noise, and now it's their stage. The conductor spun on a lifted platform, strings hanging from his sleeves like puppet wires. Let me see what the cursed twins can do. Play or perish. The ground beneath them opened into a glowing circle. Keys of a piano lit up around the edge. Each time one lit up, a sharp, discordant note blared. The twins were forced to step and dodge with every flash. This is a game, Hemi growled, ducking a flaming cymbal flying past. A sick one. It's a test, Echo called, leaping down. Follow my lead, match the pattern, or the music will swallow you whole. Semi hesitated, then he heard it. A rhythm inside his head. His feet started to move, instinctively mirroring the sequence. Hemi for once didn't lead. She followed, sidestep, cross, tap, duck, leap, spin. Each motion summoned a new light, a new sound, and as the tempo quickened, so did their confidence. The conductor's grin faltered. They're sinking. No, it's impossible. But it wasn't. The twins were dancing together, one rhythm, one mind. A final stomp struck the ground, and the entire platform collapsed. They fell. Darkness. They awoke on soft moss under a glowing tree. The forest was no longer twisted. It pulsed gently like a heart. The music was gone, replaced by whispers. Not evil, not threatening, but lost. This isn't real, Semi whispered. It's real enough, Echo said, brushing leaves from his shoulder. You passed. The melody didn't break you. It bent. Semi looked around. Is this the origin? Echo nodded. The first note where it all began. A woman stepped from the glowing roots. She wasn't human, not fully. Her form shimmered like mist caught in moonlight, her eyes a swirl of treble clefs and silence. You are the last of your line, she said. Children of sound, protectors of balance. The world tried to silence you, but your rhythm cannot be destroyed. I don't understand, Hemi said. Your father was once like you, a guardian, but he gave it up to protect you. Semi stepped forward, trembling. Is he alive? Yes, she said, but barely. He is trapped in the echo chamber, beneath the village, beneath the lies, beneath the betrayal. Let us save him, Hemi shouted. The woman touched their foreheads with a note of light. You have the power now, but beware. The closer you get to truth, the louder the silence will fight back. They awoke again, this time in a cage. Cold, rusted, echo gone. Footsteps. You danced well, the conductor sneered outside the bars, but even prodigies get stage fright eventually. What do you want from us, Semi asked. Your voice, your bond, the power between twins born of rhythm, it's an energy source, and I'm building the perfect performance. Eternal applause. No more silence. That's sick, Hemi spat. Art, he corrected, requires sacrifice. He turned and walked away, whistling the same melody their father used to hum. That made Semi shiver. He knew him, Semi whispered. He knew Dad. Night fell, a scraping sound. Then Echo appeared again, picking the lock with a bent tuning fork. I told you I don't leave people behind, he winked. Now let's get your dad. They slipped through the underworks of the fortress, ancient catwalks, broken instruments, piles of snapped strings like spider webs. They passed doors labeled rehearsal room, discarded notes, and silenced errors. Behind one of them, they heard hum. Dad, Semi whispered. They burst through. Bramble stood shackled to a tuning post, his beard longer, his eyes sunken, but alive. Hemmy, Semmy, his voice cracked. Shh, Hemmy ran to him. We're here. Bramble shook his head. No, 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 you shouldn't have come. We're stronger now, Semmy said. We know what we are. You don't understand, Bramble said, tears forming. It's not just a curse. It's a loop, a cycle. You awaken the rhythm and the world rewrites itself. What? Echo asked. Music is power, Bramble gasped. Too much of it, and the system resets. That's what the conductor wants, to control the reset. Before they could react, alarms blared. You broke tempo, the conductor's voice rang. And now, we'll see how loud your goodbye is. They ran through collapsing halls, shifting corridors. The building itself was reacting to their defiance, reshaping. Shortcut, Echo shouted, kicking through a door marked Legacy. They tumbled into a room filled with portraits, musicians, dancers, poets, all glowing faintly. One spot was empty. It was labeled Semmy and Hemmy. A realization hit them. We were never cursed, Sammy whispered. We were chosen, Hemmy said. But chosen for what? Echo asked. The room shuddered, the walls screamed. The conductor stepped through the portrait, as if peeling reality back like paper. For the grand finale, he snarled. He grew wires wrapping around his body like armor, symbols forming a shield, trumpets fusing into limbs. Final boss mode. We fight together, Helmy said. Semai nodded. Together? Echo smiled. Let's break some sound barriers. They leapt into action. Semmy summoned light beams through voice, musical notes striking like arrows. Hemmy used rhythm to twist the ground, drum beats cracking tiles under the conductor's feet. Echo vaulted with sound waves, redirecting blasts. It was chaotic, beautiful, dangerous. Then the conductor grabbed Hemmy by the throat. No encore, he hissed. Semmy screamed, and from that scream, the room shattered. They awoke again in silence. But they were not alone. Bramble stood beside him, Echo smiling. The conductor was gone. In his place, a broken baton. Semai picked it up. The forest outside was calm, the music had ended, or maybe it had just begun. Awesome, here comes the final part of sunlight cut through the trees like golden ribbons. Bird song replaced sirens. And for the first time in weeks, it was quiet. Not the terrifying kind of quiet, not the kind that presses against your ribs like a held breath, but peaceful, gentle, as if the world was finally willing to listen. Semai, Hemmy, and Echo sat on the roots of the glowing tree, where it all began. So, Echo kicked a pebble. So, save the day? Semai held up the broken baton. Its tip still shimmered with faint melody. We stopped the conductor, ended the cycle. Hemmy snorted. Until someone decides to bring him back in a remix. They laughed, a real free laugh, the kind they hadn't allowed themselves in a long time. But even laughter couldn't hide what still lingered behind Semmy's eyes. What happens to us now? He asked quietly. Bramble, their father, leaned against the tree beside him. His face, once weathered by guilt, now looked peaceful. You go home. Home? Hemmy blinked. Like the cabin? If it's still standing, Bramble smiled. But home isn't walls. It's where your sound is strongest, where your rhythm returns. But the villagers, Semmy began. They know now, Bramble interrupted. They saw you fight for good, saw what real harmony looks like. Some of them will never apologize, but they'll remember, and they'll change. Echo looked down. And me? You, Bramble said, have a home with us, if you want it. Echo's eyes widened. You're serious? Serious as a power chord, Hemmy grinned, nudging him. The path home was long, but filled with new silence, not the kind that feared rhythm, but respected it. Trees leaned slightly toward their footsteps, like the forest had tuned itself to their return. At the cabin, surprisingly untouched, they found Aunt Marla waiting. Her arms were crossed, lips tight, but her eyes gave her away. You three owe me, she muttered. I had to lie to about 17 torch-carrying lunatics just to buy you time. They hugged her anyway. I made stew, she added, trying to sound annoyed. It's probably burnt. It's perfect, Semmy said, voice cracking. Dinner was loud, joyfully loud, slurping, laughing, retelling everything. 3 times louder than necessary. And afterward, Bramble pulled out a dusty guitar, Hemi tapped on the table, Echo grabbed a spoon and cup, Semi hummed the opening note. A song was born. Weeks passed, spring arrived. The story of Semi and Hemi became legend not of fear but of hope. Kids pretended to be them in the fields, dancing in sync, leaping from tree stumps. Villagers painted murals in the square, including one of the 3 of them standing triumphant with musical light glowing from their hearts. "Hey, Echo said one evening, sitting on the cabin roof, do you think the conductor was always evil?" Semi joined him. "I think he got lost in the noise. Forgot music is about connection, not control." Amy popped her head through the window. "You two writing a poem or going to help me fix the chicken fence?" "Can't a hero have one dramatic monologue?" Echo groaned. "Nope, not when the chickens are out there plotting revenge." That night, as the stars blinked above, Semi opened his notebook. On the first page, where he once drew strange symbols, he now wrote, "Sound doesn't just echo, it evolves." He closed it and smiled, because for once in their strange, chaotic, rhythm-filled lives, the twins weren't running anymore. They were writing their own song. Together,